I came here as an animal advocate to come support candidate Sal Albanese. I first heard of him because of my fellow South Korean fellow advocates that we advocate the dog meat trade out in Asia. He supported one of my advocates in South Korea at one of their adoption events, and I am very, very, very grateful. I had reached out to him to network with him to see if he would be willing to support our upcoming rallies in New York City in May. And the first thing he said to me was, it just touched my heart. He just said, we have to expose this. It wasn't a typical politician answer. A typical politician answer would have been, let's talk about it more. No, he told me we have to expose this. So that made me absolutely believe in him as a man of heart for the animals. So therefore, I don't know if you guys, have been on his website, but please go to voteforsal.com. His strength is the animal care reform. He is the only candidate with animal care reform. So that is a strength with New York City's high kill rate. It absolutely needs to change. The way that if you can relate that to the way that if we were to euthanize homeless people on the streets, why would we do that to animals? Those animals end up in the shelter at no fault of their own, and they get euthanized at high numbers of rates. I am on Facebook and on Twitter, and I see all these social media trying to network with each other to save these New York City dogs, and it breaks my heart. And I am here to support Sal Albanese to change that, to make New York City no kill. I support this man 100%. I advocate, I'm an animals advocate against the dog meat trade, and I'm also a lobbyist for for a resolution and for a prohibition act that is sitting in Congress. I have been to DC myself to lobby congressmen, and they are tough to crack. It's a long process of just trying to get them to even support it and co-sponsor it. We had House Resolution 30. It was previously House Resolution 752 last year. It never got moved to the floor for a vote. What it is that it's a stand against China to end the dog meat trade. And it never made it to the floor, and it got pushed into this session. And let me tell you, it has been the hardest, almost 2 years of my life in campaigning, lobbying to get their support. There is also another Prohibition Act. I don't know if U.S. citizens are aware of this, but in the United States, there are 44 states where it is legal to consume dogs and cats. Did you know that? I didn't know that. It is legal in 44 states. Mark Ching of the Animal Hope and Wellness Foundation worked with social compassion legislation to create that Prohibition Act, and Elsie Hastings just held a briefing on it, and it was introduced. So there are some co-sponsors so far, but we need a lot of help. What that is that if it passes, it will be federal law in 50 states to make dog and cat consumption illegal. We need help on that, so please, if you can, I'll be over to the side later. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that if you want to know about that. But that leads me into what I want to say about what you can do to help Sal Albanese. What I was saying was that the last 2 years has been the hardest 2 years of my life. I gave up so much personally for these dogs and cats. And yeah, I gave up a lot personally to fight for them. And I still will continue to, because I believe that's my life's work. I really do believe in it. Which leads me into why it is so important for you to support Sal Albanese. For you to hear me, how hard it has been for me to protect the dogs and cats in Asia that are being tortured for their meat. They are being deliberately tortured. They're being boiled alive. Their paws are being dismembered alive. They're being tied to cars, and they're being dragged publicly for miles to make the meat more tender. And the reason why they torture these dogs before slaughter is they have a misbelief that the more torture they inflict, the adrenaline released will help them with medicinal purposes, will make the meat more tender, will help with their fertility. It's just all very misguided beliefs. But if you ever see any videos of these tortures, your life will change. I have them on my phone. If anybody wants to watch them, I will let you watch them. I will happily show you. I'm sorry, and that leads me into why it is so important for you to support Sal Albanese. It has been the hardest 2 years of my life, and for New York City residents, it is a piece of cake to change things in New York City. All it takes is for you to support one man and his beliefs to reform animal care New York City to make it no-kill. That's all it takes, is for you to support him and to vote for him. And that means giving him donations. That means coming up to his rallies and supporting him in person in his rallies and spreading the word about him. That is how you show your support. That is easy compared to what we do. That is easy. And I want you to support Sal Albanese.